a text from Marshall. He's unable to make it today, so that confirms that.
Okay. Oh, darn.
1 second. Lars. Lars, whenever you're ready.
Okay, great. All right, well, welcome everyone to the Sebastopol Design Review Board meeting of November 2nd, 2022. I'll read a little COVID disclaimer statement first, and then we'll get started. This meeting is being conducted utilizing teleconferencing and electronic means consistent with state of California executive orders regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Live stream and Zoom is being utilized for this meeting. In case of technical issues, meetings will be uploaded to the city website as soon as possible after this meeting. We will be conducting today's meeting in a virtual setting using Zoom. City council members, board members and staff are participating from remote locations, practicing appropriate social distancing. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting by use of Zoom as noted on the city's website and as noted on the agenda. Members of the public wishing to speak to the Design Review Board may do so during public comment or may comment on agenda items during the discussion of each item and must be logged into Zoom. This Zoom is a viewing only format. Anyone using abusive, vulgar, offensive, threatening, or harassing language, personal attacks of any kind, or offensive terms that target specific individuals or groups will be muted and removed from the meeting. Please do not abuse this new way of providing public comment. So with that, we'll get started. John, would you like to call roll?
Yes. So, Board Member Hanley.
Present.
And Vice Chair Langberg.
Here.
Okay. And I will note that Board Member Bush, Board Member Christine Level, and Board Member Marshall Balfe and Chair Ted Luthen are absent today. So unfortunately, we do not have a quorum to act on the agenda items today. So we will have to, unfortunately, move this to our next meeting date, which would be Wednesday, November 16th. We had 3 cancellations come up in the last 20 minutes. So unfortunately, we did not have enough to make a quorum today, so we can't act on any of these items today.
So we can continue down our agenda, but so we're going to just have to continue the regular agenda items for the facade improvement program. So apologies, but if the applicants want to stay, they can. They don't have to, since we're not going to be able to address the items.
I do have to get back to work. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm Andrea Crone from Silk Moon. Hi, guys. Yeah, if this is not going to pertain, then if it's all right with the board, I think I should get back to work. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so November 16th will be our next meeting. So,
at 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. I'll be there. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks, Andrea.
Sorry, Andrea. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
This is Lou Castleberry from Coach's Corner, and we're going to do the same thing. So we'll see you on the 16th.
Okay.
Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Lou. Okay. So then next item would be approval of minutes. We have no minutes to review at this time. Any planning department update on matters of general interest, John?
Yes, so we have the SAVES appeal, so the Sonoma Applied Village Services. The Planning Commission approved that 2-year extension at their October meeting. That is scheduled for the 15th of November to be heard by the City Council. So if you would like to participate, that agenda item or that meeting item is on the website, as well as noticing has been sent out for that. The Climate Action Committee work plan is in progress right now. So that kind of lays out what their overall work plan and how they want to help the city become more climate action friendly. They're in the process of doing that now, and then that work plan will get recommended, I believe, to City Council for full approval. And we also have 3 openings for the Design Review Board. Those applications and openings have been posted. The deadline for that is November 22nd. I did have Marshall's application is up. Also Carrie Bush and Ted's position. I did receive an application from Marshall so far to reapply. So if you guys know anybody that could fit those criteria points, we'd love to have them.
Do we know if Ted or Carrie are not planning on reapplying?
Heard from Ted yet. Carrie has, he's impartial, so he wants to allow anybody else that may want the opportunity to do so. He's served on the board for some time and wants to, give that opportunity to other members, within that category. So
Sure, yeah.
But has mentioned that if nobody wants to fill that role, he's willing to go through it again.
Okay.
We also have a new police chief, Ron Nelson. He was recently appointed. I believe at the end of last month or before then.
So no longer interim, he's actually formally.
Correct.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. So that was recently done. And everybody's favorite site, the Hotel Sebastopol, the building permit has been pulled. They have signed a contract with a contractor, and they're anticipating breaking ground or starting construction by the end of December, early January of so end of this year, early next year. They do have some archaeology stuff which they're in the process of doing, but they are moving forward fairly quickly. So,
do you know which GC they've selected?
I believe it's Mid-State Construction.
Mid-State.
Yeah.
Great. Good.
That's exciting.
Odd time to start breaking ground.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I think at this point, it's, as soon as they're allowed to, it's been a long process. So I think we'll be okay with late winter
Yeah.
construction time, provided that they're, within the grading requirements and all those other fun things. So
Well, that'll be exciting. That's great news.
So that's all I have for planning department updates.
Carrie Svanstrom mentioned earlier the site behind O'Reilly is potentially going to have an application or is moving towards that.
Yeah, so that's the City Ventures is the property owner up there. They have been in contact with us. They haven't submitted a complete application yet, but they are in the process of doing so. It would be roughly 80 townhome units that range from, I believe, from either studio units and then up to 4-bedroom possibility units. So it would be, some of the units would be 3 stories and have a variety of options and stuff like that. So
Will that be subject to an EIR?
there was already a CEQA analysis done on that site, but I believe that they would be. I'm not too sure.
Okay. I'd love to see the traffic implication of 80 units up there.
Yeah.
So one thing that came up today when we were talking about it was the intersection at Covert Lane may be impacted by that, and either be studied for a roundabout or a traffic signal.
Yeah,
Don't
I know
go
that one's
crazy.
Yeah, I know. That one's that I've heard talks about that one for quite some time now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so so they came to the city with an initial proposal 5 years ago or 6 years ago or something, and
2019. Yeah.
yeah, so and one of the sort of sticking points just at the very beginning was the Ceres Garden was right there, and that has since relocated,
Correct.
which is, I guess they saw the writing on the wall, but I thought it was actually a pretty good, pretty good submittal at the time. That was just the one political point that was, needed to be addressed in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the most part, from the information that I know, the units are roughly the same, and the layout's going to be a little bit different from what you guys saw at that preliminary review. And then they're working on some of the egress and ingress into the site. So, because it's a little tricky up there in that corner. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's all that I have. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is we are looking at doing here pretty soon, within the next month, a joint meeting with the Planning Commission for a preliminary review for the site that's next to the Kathy Austin site on Healdsburg. So she has the one that's been started construction again on the corner of Healdsburg and Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the new owner and construction group are looking at developing that parcel that's next to it, because it kind of wraps around with a commercial aspect and then some townhouses towards it, because the site is zoned commercial and residential. It's kind of a weird zoning layout. So we are looking at getting a joint meeting with both Planning Commission and DRB to go over that, so we can get it done in one meeting rather than scheduling two separate ones. So,
so that project that we went to look at got started again because somebody else has taken it over and moving.
Correct. The previous developer had passed away.
Right.
Yeah, and then had gone through the probate stuff and other requirements for that kind of thing, and now the new contractors come in, and the building's painted now, and I think it's getting close to final construction there. So
It'll be nice to get that cleaned up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mostly remove the fencing that is just terrible looking there.
It's so bad.
It's project fencing, so
yeah,
become permanent fencing almost. Yeah.
So that'll be coming up. We're looking at doing potentially a meeting in early December. So if you guys, and I'll mention this to the other board members, if you can get me the days that you will be unavailable, if you're going to be on vacation or anything like that, that would be great to know beforehand, so we can schedule appropriately.
It's the 7th or the 21st.
Correct.
If it's one of our meetings, I guess.
Correct.
Versus a planning commission meeting.
Yeah,
I think it would be easier to do the DRB meetings because they are earlier in the afternoon, rather than the planning commission meetings. Don't start till 6 p.m. So sometimes it's a little more difficult. But
I'm going to be in our LA office on the 7th that whole week. So if it could be the 21st, great. But otherwise, just don't have me in person, only in spirit.
That's what we're used to.
I know.
Either of those work for me.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's all that I have for planning department updates.
Cool.
Okay, thank you, John. That's great. Next, we have comments from the public regarding items not on the agenda. Is there any public not here in public?
We did
Any
not
emails
receive
or anything?
no public comments for items not on the agenda today received
Okay.
by the planning department.
All right. No statements of conflicts of interest. And so our regular agenda, 3 facade improvement requests.
Oh,
which
actually,
we will have to, yeah. go ahead.
sorry to interrupt. Regarding conflicts of interest, I think I live in the catchment area of that Huntley project or Murphy project, the one we were just discussing. I think I'm probably need to recuse myself on that.
Okay, yeah, when that comes up, we'll just make sure that that's noted.
It's interesting just that you pointed out, like, typically if you have a conflict of interest, like in terms of the location, you just don't, you recuse yourself from the meeting, right?
Yeah.
But then it's always on the agenda, this statement of conflict of interest. So I guess that's if you, it's not about where you live, but you somehow might know somebody who's an applicant, right? Or somebody like that.
Correct.
You've had discussion about the project or, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then for our regular agenda items, 3 requests for facade improvement, we'll have to continue till next meeting since we don't have a quorum. So Melissa, would you like to craft a motion to that?
Sure. I move that we continue all items on the agenda to our next meeting.
Well, I'll second that.
Should
Any
we vote?
further discussion?
This is the most efficient meeting ever.
Yeah.
Seeing no further discussion, John, would you like to call a vote?
Yeah. So Board Member Hanley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Langberg.
Aye.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Passes
Okay. Subcommittee updates. So the design review guidelines subcommittee met with our consultant as a kind of initial meet and greet. What are you guys thinking? And getting a little feedback from us. And then there's a follow-up meeting scheduled sometime. I have to look at my calendar, but
I believe it's the 22nd or 29th of November. I think it's 29th of November.
Right, you are correct.
Yeah.
And there was a question of whether one of our committee members, Patrick Slater, would still be able to be on the committee, or a different council member would be on the committee, or like, you know, what might happen in Washington, the new council disbands the committee because it's controversial and it's bad. Sorry. We'll see if Patrick, we all want Patrick to stay on the committee, but I don't know how that's going to work exactly. But otherwise, we had a good meeting just to kind of understand the process this consultant uses, and they showed us, you know, talked about other examples they've used in other cities, and so all in all, yeah, it felt like a good first step.
Awesome. Maybe Patrick should join DRB. I would say we're a heck of a lot more fun.
That's true. Okay, so that subcommittee, I'm also on the public art committee, but nothing to report there per se. So with that, I suppose we could adjourn unless anyone has anything else. All right. Well, thanks to you both.
And to you.